What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show back with another video, and today we are talking Far Cry 6. It's really we're talking about Far Cry 6 to be honest, but it's really talking about games and outdated systems. Now, I bought Far Cry 6 over the weekend. I bought it on the little sale. It should still be out right now on sale, and it was up there for like $20 for just the standard edition. I think it was like $40 for the ultimate edition. And I was such a big fan of Far Cry 5. You know, people say it's not the best in the series. They say that like 3 or 4. One of those games is like the best in the series. I decided to just try out 5. I loved 5. I played the co-op all the way through and I loved it. Now, I was obviously aware there was issues with co-op in 5. There was certain stuff that you couldn't do. But in 6, the co-op to me is a lot worse. If I'm being honest here, I feel like a game, like if you have a good friend to play the game with or whatever, a co-op game could be amplified. Like it could be a bad game. It could even be a game that you really wouldn't go back to single player. You know, it could be a game that you really wouldn't play otherwise. But for me, I just felt like Far Cry was a fire game. I played all the way through with a friend, and that's the kind of energy I wanted to do with Far Cry 6. Now, but a problem with Far Cry 6 is that you would think as the game goes on, they would actually get better co-op methods. Because one thing I really hate in a co-op game is that if you play a game like true co-op, your actual world, like if you go back to your world, so say for instance, if my friend is joining me, he will basically be at the start of the game. We could have just finished the game, and if he goes back to his world, he'd be at the start of the game. They claim it's because they want people to be able to experience it for themselves, but I think, if I'm being honest, it should be more of an option. You know, if you want that, it's probably an easy option to kind of add. Doesn't seem like that'll be too difficult to put in a game, but if I'm being truthful here, I think that is a big blight on the game for me, just simply because people can't work on their own, you know, game saves or whatever. Because yeah, we do want to play the game in true co-op fashion, and I guess if you do, it doesn't really matter what game you play as long as you're both playing together at the same time. But sometimes people want to do a little more grinding, and in games like that, you know, get a little bit more weapons and stuff, just kind of do something to differentiate. I said it all the way wrong, but you guys know what I meant. To try to change themselves from that person's game, and the fact that it doesn't follow is ridiculous. Also, another big issue with this game, and the reason I'm complaining about this is because I just came off of playing Gotham Knights, right? And also, obviously, Gotham Knights is not the best game. Graphically, it does not look the greatest. The world is not as big as Far Cry, but it is pretty big. But in that game, you at least have seamless co-op. Now, you can basically be on one side of the map and the other person can be on the whole other side of the map, and it won't really matter. I really hate games that give you the countdown meter. I really hate games like that. If I'm being honest, I despise games that give you that you're too far away from your partner type thing. Let's jump you back for 5 seconds. I hate that so much. Cause just simply, as cool as the Far Cry world is to me, like I really like the setting and the jungle and everything. I really don't want to have to just kind of be tethered to the person I'm with. You know, it could be cool, like if you got the nights where you can be taking out a stronghold or something like that, and the person could be far away, but they can get to you. They can travel to you if they really wanted to. But it's all in different instances. Like that person doesn't have to come help me with my mission. If I can solo it, I can just solo it. You know, it helps a lot of stuff get done faster, and I think that in terms of co-op, that ruins it for me. It ruins it for me so bad. I don't even know what to say. Now, I don't know if I've actually mentioned this. I believe I did. I'm not sure though. Another really major problem, and I don't want to make this whole video about co-op, but it's a lot of my issues with the game right now, is that you can't hear the person giving the mission. Now, so I talked about first of all, the co-op distance away from each other is laughable. It's absolutely ridiculous. For 2, the person cannot like really accept any missions or hear any missions. You can hear like cutscenes and stuff like that, but just general people talking to you, you just miss a lot of important dialogue just simply because they can't hear it. Like the person in the game, just instead of being in like a cooperative experience, like it's more my world. I mean, it's like it's both our world. It's more of it's my world and not the other person's world. So speeding past that, we'll get to like everything else that I really liked about the game, because I think it's a fantastic game. I think it's definitely worth $20. Even though the co-op is kind of annoying, I think it definitely is worth a $20 co-op experience. I think this is pretty much what you pay for. Considering they had the end of the year sale, I decided to go ahead and pick this one up because I felt like, okay, I've been kind of eyeing this Far Cry 6 for a while now, and it's been out for at least a year. Why not give it a try? Why not play it in 2022? You know, really see how it is. I am surprised though, because they decided to go with a more talkative protagonist now. I kind of like it. I mean, the other one in Far Cry 5, I think he was mute, or he or she was mute, and it didn't really detract from the experience at all. But I think having an actual talking protagonist that can kind of just like, you know, it gives it a little bit more feeling in certain scenes. Now we talking about the beautiful world of Yara. I think it's amazing. Like, I don't know, when I played, Far Cry 5 was like a rural city type area. I can't even really remember, but I really love this jungle. I'm not saying it's like the most densely compact thing ever, but we've only got to a certain part of like the map, and at this point, you know, we're pretty much enjoying what we're seeing so far. Obviously, we're just in that little small area of a map, so this is more my first impressions than anything. I played a good number of hours of the games, but we really like doing side content. That's something that is very much appealing to a person that just loves going around in big open worlds and just doing side content. You know, I love doing those little missions, fighting the aircraft cannons and stuff, and doing all that. That's really cool. The villain in this game is a legendary, I don't know how to say his name if I'm being honest, but he is literally in everything. He's an excellent actor. His performance here right now kind of leaves a little bit more to be deserved. We haven't seen really much of him, but definitely could see why not he's doing bad, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of, he's your villain, you know, and that's just what he is. I kind of like the ruthlessness of him, because he's kind of like a, let me tell you a story about this, and then, you know, you just end up dead somehow. I love the vehicles. The vehicles feel interesting. I don't really like playing in first person. I don't like no first person games at all, but with this I've kind of learned to comply, kind of learned to enjoy it for what it is. Now, as far as the music go, I really am not qualified to tell you whether the music is good or not. It's pleasant to me, you know. It's not really tracks that I find annoying. I felt myself bobbing my heads in some of the tracks before, so I mean, it's all good with me at that point. I will say though, I am a person that can actually appreciate some different music from different cultures. So the soundtrack sounds pretty nice to me here. You know, I love, you know, anime music. I love all different types of music. I want to be honest with you, I may not know the name, but I know what songs sound good and what songs don't. Other than that, I really enjoy this game so far. You know, it's a pretty long game, so we haven't beaten it yet, but I really enjoy this game so far. I feel like it's going to be a good one. I think in general, if it's a co-op experience you're looking for, it'll do. It's definitely not, it's one of those things where you may be looking for a flagship device or just something, or PS5 or something like that, or Xbox Series X, but you got the S, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with the S. I own the S. It's just, at the end of the day, it's not as good as the other ones, but it will do, you know, it'll get you there. With that being said, guys, I think, yes, the answer to my question, should you play Far Cry in 2022, 2023? I think you should. I think you should buy it now. I was planning to make this video later into the next year, but with the game being on sale right now, I kind of want you guys to be able to catch that sale for the $20. I think it's definitely worth $20. And if you got a person just gonna co-op with you, I don't even like games with guns and stuff. It ain't nothing like specific that I hate about guns. I just don't like playing like Call of Duty and stuff. I'm more of a JRPG fan myself, so this game shouldn't really be right up my alley, but I love Far Cry. I love the series, and I think hopefully they can make it so that they can expand on what they've already made. Just say it like that. With that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next video.